Welcome to the Two Boots Word Vault podcast. The following is a recording of the poetry of Scott Vetsch, recorded by Chris Anderson at the November 9th, 2025 Como Cottage Salon.
All right.
I just love the way you go from one guy to the next, and it's always a different turn.
It's
kind of going downhill though, isn't it?
Yeah. You got that.
Pretty fast.
You got that. Well,
That means I'm at the bottom.
Yeah.
Get the coast.
there it is. Well, I'm reconsidering all my choices here because of you guys.
That's what this does.
But I'm going to start with something that I wrote probably during the second Bush administration. It hasn't changed much since then. Called Rapture Pet Insurance. The Department of the Interior has mellowed in the years following James Watt, though they still believe a rapture is imminent and retain a pirate's eye for a landscape. They've agreed to not completely savage the environment for short-term gain. The rapture will disengage all believers from this contested stone, deliver them to paradise. It's like going on a holiday and remembering that pan of brownies on the table as you lock the door. Leave them for the mice? Common sense says binge. Scorched earth all the way. Why leave a single crumb for the Antichrist? But they've chosen to walk the Good Samaritan's walk, raise a salute to their non-believing fellow citizens. Consider our welfare. They've chosen to not clear-cut every forest or strip mine all hillsides. They're going to leave us a few spotted owls and snail darters, bison and whooping cranes, along with a shitload of starlings, buckthorn, and canary grass. And they're right, too. In Satan's 1,000-year reign of terror and judgment, we're going to need natural resources. Fire departments and disaster insurance, sunscreen and bottled water. While all this retribution is being exacted on the tortured souls of the earth, I'll still have a mortgage to pay, a job to get to. My bills aren't going away because a bunch of Republicans go to heaven. I say, repay the favor in a spirit of free enterprise. Build a little nest egg for the apocalypse. Rapture Pet Insurance. Believers, have you considered the welfare of your pets? When your child wonders, does Kitty go to heaven? How do you answer? Fundamentalists believe animals are soulless beings barred from the pearly gates. God appointed you custodians of the world. Want to watch your dog abandoned, nosing through trash cans and alleyways? What's the household pet plan when God comes for your family? Why not invest in a little Rapture Pet Insurance. Wouldn't you feel more comfortable knowing a good-hearted pagan was caring for little Fifi? Who could better protect your pet from the predations of the damned than some tree-hugging vegetarian? Buy Rapture Pet Insurance. The damned will be there when you can't. It still works after all these years. Still true. And now Thomas got me thinking about my French teacher here.
That's the genre.
Yeah, I guess it is. Very simple. This is called the first of many choices based on love. Is this the one? Yes. For our entrance into 7th grade, we had to choose a language. Our choices were Spanish, French, or German. It was a question I knew the answer to. My grandfather's first language was German. Hogan's Heroes was my favorite TV show. I could say Raus, Achtung, and Strudel. In the Sergeant Fury comics, words like Schweinhund and Blitzkrieg filled the white bubbles that burbled from the mouths of monocled Nazi psychopaths. They were my study guides. Then I fell in love. As Mr. Olson passed out the forms, I sat at my desk, eyes on Maggie Miles across the aisle in her purple dance skin and cream-colored hip-hugger bell-bottoms. I considered my allegiances to German and chose French. Before 6th grade was a wrap, Maggie dumped me with a long and lawyerly note, choosing my soul brother Rory, who had already chosen German. They didn't even make it through summer, but in September, there I was, slouched in French class like a silly child, across the aisle from Maggie. Practical students chose Spanish because it was useful. You could use it on this continent. Maggie was college bound, an A student. French was an academic choice. And running down the hallways were the Hogan's Heroes crazies, flaunting their choices, hurling their guttural vocabulary at the world between classes. My consolation was Miss Beaumont, the most knockout teacher in all of Jackson Junior High. When the guys drooled, I told them she was the reason I chose French, that I knew, that I planned it all along.
You notice they were all misses. I mean, they were not misses. They were misses.
Yeah, why? Yeah, not the other languages. That wasn't true. Yeah.
Beaumont.
Yeah, that's not. Her actual name was Miss Tweet. I changed it so I wouldn't get in trouble. I got scared. But Miss Tweet, that was a pretty good name too.
How'd you spell tweet? How did she?
You know, it's a T and a W and an I in there, and then I kind of lost the rest. Sorry, Dougie. Okay, we'll try. What's that?
We can look her up.
If I could spell her. Okay, this is a newer one I've been working on. It's called The Things He Thinks Are True. The meth pinata pumpkin drop was well attended. Everyone went to town on it, crashing in like a tsunami of dollar store dustbusters. The low barrier entry helped people hit rock bottom faster, quickly locating their last straw. Polly hailed me on Bridge Square wearing a prospector's hat, pine needles in his beard like he fell out of a treehouse. "You from here?" he asked. He didn't mention why he was wearing a Coast Guard approved life preserver, and I didn't ask. His companion wore a filthy gingham prairie bonnet, Hello Kitty backpack over her shoulder. "An oil field is no place for a woman." She said that more than once. And how many nights he prayed for a bag of weed. He always wants the freedom to punch, he explained, or run a quarterback sneak. So here we are in the wrong market, shopping for a starter marriage in the Cool Whip aisle. Turns out we went to high school together. "I'm not a team player," he said. "I'm totally off grid. What she thought was me was a phase. Sometimes a short phase, sometimes longer." Always up for symbolic conversation, he noticed geese flying overhead and neatly changed the subject. "Hello, birds in a V. Hello, snake in a coil. Hello, hungry cougar hunting." In tales of his childhood, their father was a wounded bear. It was like growing up in Denali and lingered like chewed up habaneros. Hollow as a bell, he crashed into adulthood clanging, his shadow gone, every photo fallen off the wall. He liked to count on things, but couldn't. Ended most days on a stool at Rick's rock pile. He said it was always Wisconsin somewhere. Indoors he verged on spicy, fragrant as a scented candle when his hat heats up, crawling with bark beetles, bubbling with suspicion. He cursed summer's departure. "Cruel sun," he sneered, took her back again. But he fell just as hard for autumn. Flag flown at half-mast, happily trading green for brown. A lot of people drinking there worked at the Sulphur Springs Senior Center. It was a scrub-heavy tavern, not into probiotics. A place no one could leave without a tornado in their hand. Grief is nature's #1 turn-on. A drought-stressed oak throws off 1,000 acorns. A lonely old man thinks only of fucking. I lost my place. It's a semaphore. Someone's got to dish up the goo, throw it out there, see what sticks. America unhinges us. He wants to give his good hand, but due to circumstances can only use his left. Every heartfelt inclination becomes a transaction. Every human act a calculation. Shadows grow long and blue. Shelter in place, Thursday becomes the new national holiday. Windsocks are run to the top of every flagpole. She nodded knowingly. Definitely a different kind of meat raffle. On good days, she let him into the sunlight. At first, with lots of snarls and growling, until he understood the shadows inside were bigger than what spilled out on the sidewalk. Got one more. It's about my grandma. Called Hazel and the Holy Rollers. Grandma came from a free-thinking background. Her mother was a Quaker. Her father a divine do-it-yourselfer. Entertained the Methodist minister when he turned up Sunday afternoons to play checkers and discuss life. She'd outlived her contemporaries. Black diphtheria, accidents, whiskey, and war had taken the best. Left her with the kids she hated in school, the tattletales, and the goody two-shoes. Widowed in her 90s, She was the last human alive on the farm. Grandma wasn't much for TV. Living alone out there, she drank coffee and read cartons of trashy romance novels that she and her friend Lucille passed back and forth. They'd known each other since school, both witty and irreverent. Lucy had a bum hip and didn't get out much unless one of her sons drove. Grandma loved conversation. She sat up till 4 a.m. with visitors, started out with coffee and ended up with brandy. Only now her late night philosophizing cohort had thinned down to me or Dad. Grandma was a make-do kind of person. If you didn't have strawberries, you used rhubarb. If you couldn't travel, you read the National Enquirer. If you didn't have visitors, you made do with evangelists. The farm was between Zimmerman and Crown on County Road 4, a main stem for short-cutting truckers, salesmen, evangelists, and bar-hopping drunks. Grandma had no patience for salesmen or drunks. She found missionaries weak-minded but admired their moxie to get out there. When they came to her door, she invited them to pull up chairs at her kitchen table. There were Mormons, Seventh-day Adventists, and Jehovah's Witnesses. Grandma lumped them all together as holy rollers. You could say Grandma had an interesting spiritual life. She passed herself off as a Methodist, but an hour into that conversation and you realized she played her dogmas fast and loose. She loved Native American beliefs, wasn't adverse to a little UFO speculation. And then there was that unearthly chanting heard from behind her bedroom door when she finally went to bed that sounded like a wrestling match with some dark deity. Grandma wanted me to say I believed in Jesus even if I didn't. If you stated this oath, you were granted eternal life. She didn't see a problem with an all-knowing God knowing whether you really meant it or not. I told her when I died, I'd look for her out there, and that seemed to satisfy her. A kind of dog paddle through the protoplasm, a wading through eternity, floating in that great expanse like the survivors of some maritime disaster, calling out for loved ones, gripping onto the wreckage. Grandma believed spirituality was an open-ended question, but those holy rollers started shifting in their chairs at that kind of talk. They were trained to push a doctrine, but Grandma pushed back. Fear and shame had no effect on her. She only sought a good-natured exploration of the unknown. After hours of philosophical end runs, the holy rollers were on the defensive, just trying to get out. They left Grandma each week with a few more pamphlets to read, and Grandma left them with a renewed challenge. They hadn't come to question their own beliefs, but Grandma loved a good debate. The holy rollers could save 3 souls on a good day, but Grandma took their entire afternoon and left them with nothing.